than a song. Today I brought myself. I am the sacrifice. I have more than a song. Today, hey, I brought myself. I am your worship. I have more than a song. Today, I brought myself. I am the sacrifice. I have more than a song. Today, I brought myself. I am your worship. Lord, receive this living sacrifice.
Yes, we are God's worship. Welcome again to another edition of Mommy and I on RCCG Radio with Oluwadamilola. How are you doing? How is your day going? I hope you're having a great day. And of course, you're not letting any bad vibes or bad energy rub off you. Take off or suck off your joy. Yes, it is very important that, you always choose to have a positive mindset and positive vibe towards any situation of your life, as much as it might not be so easy, but always try to, like they always say, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. So always try to see that there will always be light at the end of the tunnel, no matter what you're going through. All right, you're welcome again, and shout out to all mothers. Yes. I'm super excited today. Forget that the voice is, we're taking it on a calm level today, but I am excited. I see mothers and I'm like, we're doing better. We're doing great. We're getting there. We're getting to that point where, nobody criticizes you for wanting to do what is best for you and your children based on how you know how to do it, or, based on medical advices. People are learning to, come to terms with, this parenting thing is none of your business. Let people do it however they want to do it, as long as it is convenient for them. So, to mothers who are trying their best to not choke mouth into things that not concern them, kudos to you, and more well done. And to those who are still trying to put their mouth in what does not concern them, like Mrs. Know-it-all, goody two shoes, I can help you train your child, I can give you this cream, it's gonna work, it's gonna this. Please calm down. Mommy, calm down. Calm down. There is no textbook, a formula to this thing. Let mothers or let parents do what they know how to do best. You can only guide, but do not impose. Do not enforce what worked for you. How are you sure it's going to work for them? So, enough of the talk. Yeah. All right, on today's edition, we'll be talking on breastfeed versus formula feed. Yeah, I've been talking on breastfeed so far, and it is time for us to, take a look at formula feed as well. I've seen parents who, a few weeks back, we had the World Breast Feeding Day, and, so many women came out and said, they felt a kind of way because they didn't get the opportunities to breastfeed their children or their baby, or and some of these people, it's not as if it is intentional. They actually want to, but body system differs. Some people have medical conditions, and it's so funny that sometimes the breast is not just producing, it's not lactating well, and they've taken all sorts. Go from oats to pap to lactating cookies to name it, vegetables, fruits. They've taken a lot and it's still not working. So some people have just signed up that, this breastfeeding thing is not for me. And they feel really, 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 really bad that, I'm not breastfeeding. They said breastfeeding is the one that, allows the bond to bond between a mother and a child. But yeah, today we're going to analyze, what is in the two. Breastfeeding versus formula feed, which is best. And, if you're formula feeding, do not feel bad about it. We know how these things work. Sometimes, even for those who are lactating, sometimes we do not lactate enough. And it's not enough to feed the baby. So we know how these things work. Like for me, for example, when I had my baby, the first 3 days, the first day, they said water and glucose because I wasn't lactating. Nothing was coming out. Second day, The baby was already crying. Said they will not give him food, didn't he? So we spoke to the pediatrician and said, okay, by afternoon the second day, if the first water that comes out, that's the colostrum that comes out from the breast, if it's not coming out yet, we can go get infant formula, because at that time glucose and water will not, be sufficient for the baby anymore. We're just going to keep giving glucose and water that would not reach anywhere. So by afternoon there was nothing coming out still. So we went for infant formula 1, and it took that till the third day when when a nurse friend came. Someone was beside my bed at the ward and said, let's make pap. They should give me a full flask of pap. And we did a very thick. It was, mixed with tea, beverages and all those things. It was really thick and nourishing. So I took it, and to Jesus be our glory, the thing started coming out. So, my baby also took it. But after that, I did exclusive, But it still doesn't mean that because I gave my baby formula, because, something is going to happen to my baby. Left to me at that point, I was like, whichever one works. The point is, my baby is eating. Something is entering inside the stomach. And that's the most important thing. All right, so let's go into what I have for you today. But before then, we'll go for this quick music break. And then when I come back, we'll be going straight into what I have for you today on Mommy and I, which is breastfeed versus formula feed. Do not go anywhere. This is our CCG Radio. And I, Oluwa Damlola, I'll be back shortly. Alrighty, welcome back, and this is still Mommy and I on our CCG Radio with me, Oluwadamilola. Yes, if you're just joining, you must welcome, and do not forget that you can be a part of Mommy and I, and of course, be a part of all the programs on our CCG Radio via MixLR, which is mixlr.com/RCCG-radio, mixlr.com/RCCG-radio, and also we are live on all social media platforms. Yes, we are active and we are there. So to find us, you'll see us, My RCCG Radio 1, My RCCG Radio 1 on all social media platforms, and of course, Mommy and I is on Instagram. Yeah, so search for Mommy and I on Instagram. We're waiting for you. We're a community, so we want you to be a part of our community so we can rub minds together, learn from each other. Even from a mommy group, per our community. Per our residential area. That's what I mean. Have friends. Get people who will pray for you and pray with you, and all of those things, just to enjoy yourself as a mom and not to feel left out of all the things that are happening because you have children or because you have a baby. All right, so today I said I will be talking on breastfeed versus formula feed, and this is coming because a while ago we had the breastfeeding day week. And as much as we're celebrating the breastfeeding week, some parents came out and some moms came out and felt left out because they are not opportunity to have done the exclusive number one, or even to breastfeed at all. Some were not able to do exclusive because we're not lactating enough, while some could not even produce at all. So they felt left out. Like, okay, for them, what's going to happen? There's no celebration for them. Is that what we're saying? And then they talked about formula feeding, and this led to this particular topic. So here it is. The thing is, a big decision, new moms, all moms basically want to breastfeed. It is something that we want to do because, you would have heard breastfeeding is important. It gives nutrients. It does this, is that, And as much as I am not disputing, I did exclusive, although the second and third day, my baby took Formula 1 because, I wasn't lactating as at then. I started lactating in the evening of the third day, so my baby had to, get supplements, so that he had to get formula, so he can, have something in his tummy. So, formula feed and breastfeed, we're talking about that. So, as much as breastfeeding is important, for those who are not able to because maybe they're not lactating enough, or for one reason or the other, health issue, and they're not able to, do not feel left out. We're talking about the breastfeeding and, of course, the formula feed today just because of you. Yes. All right. So, like I said, a big decisions new mom must take for their little one's nutrition is breast versus formula. Some people can be uncomfortable around women while they're breastfeeding. However, if you pull a bottle of formula, there are those who may criticize you for not feeding your baby. Yes, I mean when they see and at the beginning of the program today, I talked about women learning to mind their business. So you see a woman bringing out a bottle to feed her son or a daughter or children, and you're like, you're not doing exclusive. They said exclusive is, tame it, hold your tongue, bridle your tongue. You don't know what she's going through. What if she has a medical condition? What if she has tried and she's not, it's not just working? You think she's not sad already that she's not able to? Some people do their very best, but it's not working for them. So tame your tongue. You can politely ask, why are you doing this? That is if the person is close to you. If you do not know the person, maybe you met at the point where you're going for shots for your children and you begin to open your mouth, madam. No. Except the women you go meet are not like Misha. So, however, some people might still criticize you for not feeding your baby with giving them breast milk, what they might consider the natural perfect food, which is breast milk. So, welcome to mommy guilt. Yes, they will mommy guilt you, eh? Women, we are good in this. The way some don't even have to open their mouth, They will just look at you like, see her, very lazy. She's particular about her body. She cannot breastfeed her children, Take it easy. Take it easy, ma. Take it easy. Let's be gentle on people. The way we just come out, come at them. You don't know what they're going through. So, as much as people want to mommy guilt me, I live. The guilt, I pack it there. Nobody can mommy guilt me. Yeah. So no matter what you decide as a mother, other people will surely have an opinion, and that I've come to terms with. So what I do is I allow you say whatever it is that you want to, and just say, okay, I've heard, but what I want to do is what I will still do. Yeah. Except if, I really, have to take a look at it. And I'm like, okay, let me speak with my pediatrician and ask about this one. I've not heard of this before. And if it is good, okay. If there is something that is optional, I'm not going to stress myself if it's not within my reach, or if it's not something I can do. I'm going to do what is available for me. All right. So no matter what you decide as a mother, other people will surely have an opinion. And only one thing really matters. I was telling a friend of mine who recently gave birth. I said, which choice is right for you and your baby? That is the only thing that matters. What is right? What choice? What decision is right for you? Health-wise, emotionally, physically, mentally. What is right for you and for your baby? Let all the naysayers, let all the noisemakers, let anybody with blabbing tongues say whatever it is that they want to say. The decision is yours, and you have to make the choice of what is right for you and for your baby. So now let's go into breastfeeding. Pediatricians have recommended that breast milk is the best nutrition for infant. Yes, and baby should be breastfed exclusively for the first 6 months, according to pediatricians, after other foods have been introduced, and then the pediatricians, according to research, the Association of Pediatricians also encourages mothers to continue to breastfeed until the baby is at least a year old, and as long as after that, as both the mother and the child are willing to. Although WHO, that is the World Health Organization, recommends that mothers should breastfeed 2 years and beyond. Yes, they can do 2 years and beyond as long as they want to. All right. So also, breast milk is good for your baby in many ways. One, it contains the proper proportion of nutrients that your baby needs, including protein, carbohydrate, fat, and calcium. It also provides antibodies, natural antibodies that helps your baby restrict illnesses such as ear infections. It's usually more easily digested than formula feed. So breastfed babies are often less constipated and gassy. And then it may lower the risk of sudden infant death syndrome in the first year of your baby's life. Another, benefit or why breast milk is good is that It may raise your child's intelligence. Studies have shown that breastfed babies have higher level of cognitive function. And then breast milk may even help your child in later years by reducing the risk of being overweight and of developing asthma, allergies, type 1 and type 2 of diabetes, high cholesterol, leukemia, and other diseases as well. And another thing about breast milk is it is always available and it's free. It's always available and it's free. Just bring out the breast fam. That's the end. Yeah. So it's always available and it's free. Breastfeeding is good for moms too as well. It's not just beneficial to the baby or your babies. Breastfeeding is good for moms too. I mean, women who breastfeed have a reduced risk of breast cancer, diabetes, heart disease, osteoporosis, ovarian cancer. It can also help to lose your baby weight more easily and make it less likely you have postpartum depression. Yes, but let's not forget a key reason why many moms want to breastfeed. It is a wonderful bonding experience with your baby. That is one major reason. I mean, for most of the people who complain that they couldn't breastfeed and they have to do formula feed, they were mostly scared about the bonding time, the skin to skin. When they say, when your baby is breastfeeding and they look into your eyes, they're telling you I love you, and they blink and they smile, it's that feeling, it's that aspect that most of them complain the most about. But then again, when you're formula feeding, I mean, you're carrying the baby and they're staring at you, you're holding the bottle, except maybe it's the nanny that is doing that. So one way or the other, even if they're not taking breast milk, the form in which you carry the baby is almost similar to when they're breastfeeding as well. So breast milk can be pumped. If you can do that, maybe you have issues with your nipple, maybe you have inverted nipple, or you have sore nipples. You can store you can pump breast milk and store it as well. But you have to store it properly and it must be clean, because healthy is a clean meal and a clean bottle. Everything must be sterilized and clean for the baby, so it's essential. Breast milk can be pumped, which will allow for public feedings and other family members to participate in feeding. I did that. So when it's at night, it's time for daddy to carry. Please take the breast milk, leave it to room temperature, and then feed the baby. So that is very important for breastfeeding. Yes. So let's go to formula feeding. Yeah, formula feeding. Yeah, formula feeding is also a healthy choice for babies. Yes, I mean, so if you are not able to do breastfeeding, formula feed is a healthy choice for babies as well. So whichever one works for you. And again, if you can use a formula, your baby will get the best possible alternative to breast milk. You should not attempt, as a mother, to make your own formula or feed an infant cow's milk or any other kind of milk. Please take note. Yes, until your baby is a year old. I mean, I'm also going to talk about things that you cannot give to your baby, to your infant, until they're a year old. Yes, there's some things that's in total no-no. Cow's milk, any other kind of milk is a no-no except for breast milk and formula milk or formula feed. Yeah, so many moms choose formula for a variety of reasons. One, it's convenient. Formula fed babies can be fed by anyone and at any time. It doesn't have to be the mother always. And then it's flexible. Yes, you don't have to have a feed pumping into your work schedule. Instead, you can simply leave formula for your babysitter or your daycare center. And then your partner can help out with the nighttime feeding and share the bonding experience with your baby. So you see this bonding thing, I said it earlier. It doesn't have to be necessarily until when you're breastfeeding your baby. You're carrying your baby to formula feed them as well from the bottle. It's the same way someone who pumps into a bottle would feed their baby. So whether you pump breast or formula that is there, the bonding is still there. However, when you're going to bathe for the baby, you're going to carry the baby, you're going to play with the baby. So whichever one, there is still the bonding time. So it necessarily doesn't always have to be when you're breastfeeding the baby. Yeah, so your partner can help out with nighttime feedings and share the bonding experience with your baby. Another reason why some mothers choose formula feed is scheduling feedings may be easier. Formula isn't digested as quickly as breast milk, so formula-fed babies do not need to eat as often, especially in the first few months. And also, you don't have to worry about what you eat. Yes, when you're breastfeeding, they'll tell you is what you eat that your baby is eating. So you have to eat a lot of, you have to be balanced in your meal. You don't have to be solely focused on one particular type of meal. So you have to be taking the vegetables, you have to take your fruits, you have to take your vitamins, you have to take fat and oil, you have to take protein, you have to take everything that contains all the classes of food. So you don't have to worry if you're doing formula feed. You don't have to worry about what you eat, because moms who breastfeed may have to avoid certain foods that their babies can tolerate. But if you're not breastfeeding, go on, son. Just be eating and be eating and be eating. It's your time. All right. Another reason why some moms choose formula feed is because you can have a glass of wine or cocktail once in a while. Yes. Although alcohol is a no-no for women who breastfeed, because they pass on tiny amounts of it to their babies. Yes. So let's talk about supplemental feeding. Yeah, that's another one. Your doctor, your pediatrician or your doctor may recommend that you both breastfeed and give your baby formula feed. I've seen people who do that, who, because they're not lactating enough, have to make use of the breast milk and the formula feed as well. Or that you add powdered or liquid fortifier to pump breast milk. That may be needed if, take note, 1, your baby was born premature with a very low birth weight and needs extra calories and nutrients. 2, your baby has trouble latching onto the breast. 3, your body isn't making enough breast milk. 4, your baby is dehydrated, has serious jaundice or low blood sugar. So while your baby is getting supplemental feeding, it's a good idea to pump your breast milk so you can start nursing as soon as the baby is ready. Once their growth has caught up, you may be able to switch them exclusively to breast milk if you choose. All right, so let's go. Well, we're still on Mommy and I, and this is breastfeed versus formula feed. We're talking about that today. In case you're just joining, we're talking about breastfeed versus formula feed. Yeah, we'll go for this quick break, and then when we come back, we'll continue on the topic for today. Don't go anywhere.
More than a song. Today I brought myself. I am the sacrifice. I have more than a song. Today, hey, I brought myself. I am your worship. I have more than a song. Today myself, I am the sacrifice. I have more than a song. Today I brought myself. I am your worship. Lord, receive this living sacrifice.
And if you're just joining, you must welcome. I am talking about breastfeed versus formula feed today on Mommy and I. I've talked about what breastfeed is and, formula feed as well, and why it happens, and some of the reasons why, some women, some mothers will opt for formula feed and not breastfeeding their babies. And sometimes it's not always intentional, like, oh, they want to do it. Yeah, it's very few to find such cases, but mostly is always because of a medical issue, or because they're not lactating enough, or they're not even lactating at all. So when you see mothers who feed their children with bottles or who give formula, let's take it easy on them. That it worked for you doesn't mean that you expect every other woman or every other mother out there to expect them to do the same. Remember that we do not have the same body type, and we do not have the same medical condition or medical history. All right, so we're still on breastfeed versus formula feed, and now we'll be going to I'll be talking on breastfeeding challenges. Yes, as much as we all think, oh, breastfeeding is easy, it's not, just bring out the breast and the baby will suck, that's the end. It also comes with its own challenges. Yes, so breastfeeding can be easy from the get-go for some mothers, but take a while to get used to for others. For me, it took a while to get used to, yeah. And I had sore and all those things. It was a lot, but we dealt with it, and here we are. Yeah. So, mom and babies need plenty of patience to get used to the routine of breastfeeding. Common concerns of a new mom, especially during the first weeks and months, may include one, personal comfort. Initially, many moms feel uncomfortable with breastfeeding, but with proper education, support, and practice, most moms overcome this particular problem. Another one is latch on. Yes, latch on pain is normal for the first week to 10 days and should last less than a minute with each feeding. But if breastfeeding hot throughout feeding, or if your nipple or your breast are sore, it's good idea for breastfeeding mothers to get help from a lactation consultant or their doctor. Many times it's just a matter of using the proper technique, but sometimes pain can mean that something else is going on, like an infection. So always do not see. Sometimes I've seen a lot of people complain about this on mommy groups and all those things, but it's also good that you also confirm from your medical practitioner, your pediatrician, or your lactation consultant on these things that you go through. Sometimes you don't not get the best counsel or the best advice from just social media. It's okay to go to your doctor. So it's not bad that you ask these questions, but in cases like this, it is important that you ask your doctor first. Another problem is the time and frequency of feeding. Breastfeeding requires a big time commitment from mothers, and I'm not joking about this one. I did it. It's a lot time. Big time commitment and sacrifice. They should even it should be there. Yes. So especially in the beginning when babies feed often, a breastfeeding schedule or the need to pump breast milk during the day can make it harder for some moms to work, run errands, or travel. You cannot travel. You have to be going, you and your baby, because you'll be breastfeeding. Yeah. So another issue we have is, and I haven't left there that point. And breastfed babies do not need to eat more often than babies who take formula. Do need to eat. I beg your pardon. They need to eat more every time. They're always breastfeeding breast milk because it digests easily. Yes, because breast milk digests faster than formula, and this means moms may find themselves in demand every 2 or 3 hours, or maybe more, or maybe less in the first few weeks. Another one is diet. Diet is another challenge for breastfeeding mothers. Yes, women who are breastfeeding need to be aware of what they eat and drink, since these can be passed to the baby through the breast milk. Just like during pregnancy, breastfeeding women should not eat fish that are high in mercury, or should limit consumption of lower mercury fish. If a mom drinks alcohol, it's even a no-no in the first instance, but for one reason or the other, maybe you did, a small amount can pass to the baby through breast milk. She should wait at least 2 hours after you've taken it, which you should not even drink. Even as a Christian, you shouldn't be drinking to avoid passing that to your baby. Another challenge mothers who breastfeed have is maternal medical conditions, medicines, and breast surgeries. Medical conditions such as HIV and AIDS, or those that involve chemotherapy or treatment with certain medicines, can make breastfeeding unsafe. So a woman should check with her doctor or a lactation consultant if she's unsure if she should breastfeed with a specific condition. Women should always check with their doctor about the safety of taking medicines while breastfeeding. This includes over-the-counter herbal medicines. Mothers who have had breast surgery, such as reduction, may have difficulty with their milk supply if their milk ducts have been severed. So in a situation like this, a woman should talk to a doctor about her consent and work with a lactation specialist. All right, so now let's go to our formula feeding challenges. Yeah, and this will be the last thing I'll talk about on topic for today. Formula feeding challenges. And like we have challenges for breastfeeding, there are some challenges to consider when you decide to also, want to do formula feed for your babies. One, lack of antibodies. Yes, none of the antibodies found in the breast milk are in manufactured formula. So formula can't provide a baby with the needed or added protection against infection and illnesses that breast milk does. It cannot match. Formula feed cannot match the complexity of breast milk. Manufactured formulas have yet to duplicate the complexity of breast milk, which changes as the baby's needs changes as well. Planning and organization. Unlike breast milk, which is always available, unlimited, and served at the right temperature, formula feeding your baby requires planning and organization, which is true, to make sure that you have what you need when you need it. Parents must buy formula and must make sure that it's always on hand to avoid late night runs to the store. Unlike breast milk, whether they wake up at 2 p.m. or 2 a.m., food is ready. But for formula feed, you always have to ensure that you have an extra at home so you do not run out on formula. And it's important to always have the necessary supplies like bottles and nippies, clean, easily accessible, and ready to go. Otherwise, you will have a very hungry, very fussy baby to answer to with 8 to 10 feedings in a 24-hour period. Parents can quickly get overwhelmed if they're not prepared and organized. Yes, so if you're not quickly answering, breast is easy, just bring out the breast and remember that's the end. But with formula feed, as they are crying, you have to be pouring the milk, measuring hot water, warm water, all those things to ensure that it's the right temperature, checking and all those things. It's a lot. So to be honest, mommies who do formula feed are doing a great job. I mean, for those who are doing it because it's not convenient for them to lactate enough or they have a medical condition, kudos to you. Another challenge with formula feed is this is expensive. Yes, formula feed can be costly. It is costly, not even can be costly. It is costly. Powdered formula is the least expensive, followed by concentrated, with ready to feed being the most expensive. And specialty formulas, cost more, sometimes far more as well. So than the basic formulas during the first year of life. So it is very expensive. Another challenge is a possibility of producing gas and constipation. Formula fed babies may have more gas, femur bowel movement than breastfed babies. Yeah. So that's that. Okay, quickly, let me do a rundown of the breastfeeding challenge. I said personal comfort, latch-on problem or pain, time and frequency of feeding. You always have to feed a lot. Diet, whatever you eat, your baby eats, so you have to work on your diet. And then we also have some medical conditions, sicknesses, and breast surgeries that can affect you as a woman when you are breastfeeding your baby. And then another challenge for formula feed, yes, is that one, I beg your pardon. Another challenge for formula feed is that lack of antibodies. Doesn't have as much antibodies. I mean, none of the antibodies found in breast milk can be found in manufactured formula. And then it cannot match the complexity of breast milk. You also have to do a lot of planning and organization. Always have to have the formula ready, the bottles ready, the nippies ready, clean, easily accessible, so you do not have to fight again with a very hungry baby and a very fussy baby. And then it is expensive. You always have to buy, unlike the breast milk where there's nothing to buy. Just keep eating as a woman. Keep eating, eat, and take plenty of liquids, and then there you go. And then possibility of producing gas and constipation. For formula-fed babies, they have more gas and femur bowel movement than breastfed babies. But in all, the choice is yours, because deciding how you will feed your baby can be a hard decision. And it's no lie. Yeah, so you really only know the right choice for your family when your baby comes. So many women decide on one method before the birth and then change their minds after the baby is born due to one reason or the other. And then many women decide to breastfeed and supplement with formula because they find that it's best choice for their family and their lifestyle. So while you're weighing the pros and the cons, talk to your doctor or your lactation consultant, because these people can give you more information about your options and help you make the best decision for you and for your family. Yes, let's not forget that I beg your pardon. So whatever you decide, for yourself and for your baby, breast milk or formula feed or formula feeding or a combination of the two. You want to do breast milk, you want to do formula feed. The most important thing is that your baby is well fed, well cared for, and loved. So ditch the mommy guilt that those women are giving you, those eyes that they're giving you, those you cannot breastfeed your baby, you cannot do exclusive. Ditch that guilt, because see, if you allow the guilt, you'll just be destroying yourself, and you'll not allow yourself enjoy the mommy and me time with yourself and your baby. So ditch the guilt and ensure that whatever you choose, if you want to do breastfeeding, if you want to do formula feeding, or you want to combine, that is the supplementary feeding, the most important thing is that your baby is well fed, well cared for, and loved, because those three are the most important, and your health as well, beneficial to you. Check your mental health, check your emotional health, check your physical health, check everything. Ensure that you are fine and the decision you have chosen is best for you and your baby, and basically for your family. All right. So on this note, we'll draw the curtain today on Mommy and I hope that you've learned one thing or the other. We'll still continue on breastfeeding and formula feeding by the grace of God, and I hope to hear from you. And also, do not forget that Mommy and I is on Instagram, so you can follow us. It's a community. We'd like to hear from you. We'd like to rub minds together. We'd like to share experiences. We'd like to share problems. We'd like to share challenges that we're going through, and just get to know each other more. Yeah. So I'm waiting for you on Instagram.